What's going on, everybody? So today I have some unfortunate news with Diablo Immortal, and that is the stealth nerf on the warbands here. Now, previously when we were talking about the warbands and all that type of stuff, we were saying that you could get warband activity from these things repeating. So you can go ahead and do this, repeat it, get some more warband activity. Everything's great because that is the quickest way to acquire warband activity. Each raid, takes about, many of you have done these raids, 2 to 3 minutes. If it's a tougher one, maybe 4 to 5 minutes. You go ahead and cash out 80 warband activity. Of course, it drops down later on when we get to the 1,000 cap. It's just reset for the week, so we're back at 0. But when we go ahead and get to 1,000, it then drops down to 20 because it's 1/4 of that amount that you acquire. Now, we mentioned, a lot of us content creators, that you could go ahead and farm this for your warband activity. However, based on, as far as I could tell, there's no bug fix, no actual notice here for Diablo Immortal. They have removed this feature. And I'll just pull up the bug fixes here on Diablo Immortal. This is the last one, September 27th. This is the one I went over in my previous video, talking about Blessing of the Worthy. So it seems like they just randomly stealth patched this. We tested this last night, and we were unable to go ahead and refarm warband activity from this game mode. You can do it once across all 5 warband raids, and then that's it. So you can get a total of 80 times 5, which is 400 activity. And then you can do it a second time during the week for the Scoria reset. That gives you 800 warband activity. And then you're stuck. So what this means is we're going to have to acquire warband activity some other way in the game. And from our experiences, the warband activities like defense, the endless mode, or the purge the depths, those things are incredibly slow. Just to give you an idea, the purge game mode up here on the northeast is going to take roughly anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes, maybe even longer if you take a little bit of break, depending on how many people, the RNG and all that stuff. It's going to give you about 20 warband activity. Not a crazy amount. Let's say you have the lowest amount, that's still twice as long as the warband raid. Let's say you wanted to do the weekly defense mode. Well, that's going to give you a decent amount of warband activity as well. You can see here, if we just run over here, we have the normal mode. This is going to go ahead and give you some warband activity based on how well you do. Same with the endless mode. Now, the endless mode, you can go ahead and launch this. It'll take, let's say you can go survive for as long as you possibly can. That's going to usually put you around 15 to 25 minutes. That's going to give you anywhere from 60 to like 120 warband activity. Still, if we compare that to warband raids, that is insanely long. We're getting 50% or more warband activity. Let's say you go for the max amount of time, which is about 20-25 minutes, and you're getting 120 warband activity. That is still, that's 50% more warband activity, but it takes 4 to 5 times as much time. So it's really strange to me. This whole thing is very strange, and honestly something that I absolutely wanted to make a video about because it bothers me for 2 reasons. One, we have the issue where they're literally nerfing the best and most optimal strategies to farm warband activity. Mind you, doing warband raids was not a fun thing to do to get your warband activity, and neither is sitting and doing the endless game mode over and over again. It's not about, okay, endless mode is not a fun activity. It's when you need to do it 10 times in a row to go ahead and get your warband activity. Now, keep in mind, we're just talking about the 1K cap. We're not even talking about 1,500. So if you don't know, there's a 1K more efficient cap. Once you reach 1K, that goes down to 25%, and then you have to start doing so many different activities to cap that 1,500 out. I probably will never cap out the 1,500 if I cannot do warband raids. It just takes too much time, and I'm someone that does this, basically for a living. So for me not to be able to do the warband activity 1,500 because I don't have the time, I need to go keep up my Paragon levels, I need to go farm dungeons, I need to go do all this other stuff. I don't have the time to go cap out the 1,500 warband activity. Just to give you an idea, let's say I were to do the endless mode at the current moment. Well, I'm going to need, let's just say I were to get to 1,000 points, and then I need to farm the last 500. Well, I need to do 25% of 120 is 30. So I'm going to need to do at least, which is crazy, 17 endless modes, which 17 times 20. I'll just pull up a calculator for this so we don't do some random math. We do 17 times 20, assuming it's going to take 20 minutes. Divide that by 60. That means it's going to take me 5 to 6 hours of farming the endless mode for the last 500 tokens. Like, what is this? Why? This is weekly, by the way. This is not like a one-time thing where you can farm over the course. And so I have a huge problem with that. I have no idea. Well, I do have an idea, and I'll explain that in just a moment. But I just don't understand their thought process here. They add this new game mode, which, you know, albeit is actually a cool game mode and cool mechanics, but they make it so atrociously annoying to grind out that it is just absolutely miserable to kind of participate in a lot of these different game modes. Now, the reason they did it, and this is actually something that someone else kind of alluded to, I believe it was Darth who I was talking to, and he was like, yeah, they're doing it just to, you know, make sure that the combat rating grind is slower. And he's absolutely right. You know, they're making it so that you can't get as much combat rating as free-to-play players if you wanted to go ahead and you know, use this as some sort of way to catch up to Hell 5 and things like that. And he's absolutely right. I mean, that's literally why they're doing it. It's really unfortunate. But yeah, that is one problem. But my main problem, that is just the annoying part. My main problem is that this is the second time, and I'll explain a little bit more, that they've nerfed something or changed something without telling anyone. Now, I made a video on the Blessing of the Worthy. This should have its own whole dedicated video on it. To be honest, I already did a dedicated video on it, but it seems to be a little bit different than what I said, so I made a mistake. I initially thought it was a nerf based on how it worked, but in my opinion, it's even worse. What actually has happened is that they have changed the wording, and apparently I may have not paid close enough attention to it, but I have looked back on some of my previous videos, and as you rank it up, it changes from maximum life to current life, because the text isn't fixed on all different levels of the gem. For example, if I go ahead and look at, well, I don't have the portable market now, do I? But maybe I have a Blessing of the Worthy in my inventory here. I do. You can see here, it says maximum life, and that's what it says in the shop and in the market. And then if I look at my Blessing of the Worthy, it says current life. This is a big deal. Because they stealth changed the text, but only on half of it. For one, that's a huge problem, but also they have a gem in the market that's selling for something that's not what it actually does when you equip it. So that's really awkward. And this is a very, very dangerous trend. This is now twice in a row within the matter of a week that we've noticed that they've stealth changed something and they have not given us any notice for it. It's a very big issue. And I think that it should be absolutely met with the highest resistance. I don't think that they should be stealth changing anything, in my opinion. But I know that they just want to avoid any sort of conversation, any sort of backlash that they may have from people. So instead of saying, hey, we're nerfing your best way to get Warband activity, they just do it silently, and then we all figure it out, and we're just all upset. And that's just basically how it goes, and they're never going to change it back, it seems like. So I don't know. There's got to be something we can do. That's why I'm making this video. I feel like this is an important enough topic, which is why I decided to make it. I really heavily dislike the whole stealth changing thing when you just randomly change something. Again, we put out those videos about Warband activity and all that stuff, Ancestral Tableau and all that, when we went ahead and spent like 3 to 4 hours that first day experiencing every portion of the content, and then figuring out some of the optimal ways to go ahead and farm your Warband activity. And then literally the next day, someone messaged me like, hey, your method, it doesn't seem to be working. And then I'm like, that seems strange because I literally tried it 4 hours ago or whatever. And then I go and try it last night, which today's October 3rd. So that would have been October 2nd. And they just randomly have stealth patched it out. Now, granted, you could have said that, oh, it wasn't working as intended. But then that's another problem where it's like, okay, well, if it wasn't working as intended, then what was the plan to go ahead and make everyone farm Warband activity through the endless mode, which takes literally hours upon hours of gameplay every week? That doesn't seem like a very logical plan either. So I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me. And I felt like I should make a video about it because I know that there are a lot of people out there that may be running Warband raids and they don't even know that their method isn't even working anymore because Blizzard has stealth patched it, which is very, very strange. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Again, This is something that is annoying to me, so I hope that they kind of change it or make some other way to farm Warband activity better. If they were to go ahead and just flat out say, hey, we are changing this because that's not how it's intended, but we're going to add something else or whatever, that's fine. Or even if they were to just tell us, hey, we're nerfing it, that would have been better than just stealth nerfing it, in my opinion. But still, I would not have been happy with the nerf. It's so strange that they're not only stealth nerfing something, but also they are giving us a really, really hard time to actually farm our Warband activity because that was the best way. So it's a double whammy here, and that is really, really unfortunate. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching if you did get this video this far. And if you want to avoid stealth nerfs in the future, be sure to sub to the channel because we need an army to go ahead and see if Blizzard can pay attention to us. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.